Welcome to Laptop Dojo, where the strikes come from the fists, not from copyright bots. I'm Shifu Pain, and last week we took a look at the long fist form.
A form from the northern branch of Shaolin Gong Fu that serves as a great practice for the horse and bow stances.
But we can drill and practice stances until the cows come home. Know how to throw a punch with the best of them. And do a cheat 720 kick. Yes, that's on the syllabus. But it's also important to look at the other side of that equation and look at how to take a punch. Which is why today, we're taking a look at some conditioning drills.
The whole body works as one gigantic complex, with many things happening consciously, that being our choice, and many more happening unconsciously. But much like a great building or skyscraper, it won't stand for long without support. Many buildings have support structures built in to protect from earthquakes, for example.
So let's do the same for our bodies, starting with our hands, or rather our knuckles.
Conditioning our knuckles has obvious benefits for martial arts, as one of the primary points of contact when attacking is the knuckles. So we're going to condition them using push-ups, starting out by going into the general push-up position of having the hands parallel with the shoulders. Now, instead of resting on our palms like a regular push-up, we're instead going to rest on our knuckles. When going down into the actual push-up, do not have your elbows flare out to a 90-degree angle. This is going to do damage to the shoulders. Instead, have them close to the body at roughly 45 degrees.
In terms of rep ranges, it's really up to you. You can start off with 3 sets of 10, or start with 5 sets of 5, it's really your preference. That's to do with dishing out damage, but how do you expect to do that if you can't take it? So let's take a look at the forearms.
The forearms are used in a lot of defensive stances, from the peekaboo stance of boxing to the stances of karate, and some blocks we've looked at in previous videos, so it's vital to condition the forearms also. The best way to do so that I can recommend is by going to your local park, finding a good tree, like this one, and basically hitting the bark with your forearms. Not full force, just light taps to start, and then increase the amount of force over time as you get more comfortable. Do this at multiple angles, trying to cover the whole forearm.
Now's the time to take a look at the science behind these conditioning drills.
When we're making these taps and increasing the force, what happens is that the bone is damaged. Not massively, but in what are known as microfractures. Think of them as tiny cracks in the bone. These fractures are repaired and supported with layers of calcium over time, making the area stronger overall. This process of continually impacting these areas also causes the nerves to deaden, decreasing pain. Let's move to the legs now, specifically to the shins, as they're used for both defense and offense. The best example is in Muay Thai, where the shin makes contact for the roundhouse, but it also takes the impact for defensive stances, again defending for kicks such as the roundhouse or front kick. The way we're going to condition these areas is similar to the forearms, by again going to a tree at the local park and lightly tapping the bark with the shin, increasing the impact force as you get more comfortable.
Referring back to the microfractures discussed earlier, they function in much the same way as the micro tears you see in muscular growth, which leads into exercising the muscular system.
Whether this takes the form of weight training, calisthenics, isometric training, whatever you prefer. Developing the muscular system not only makes the impact of your strikes greater, but it also improves your balance when training abdominals or improves your coordination. It also has long-term benefits, as studies have indicated that doing exercise or weight training over time causes long-term benefits as you get older, including being less likely to develop musculoskeletal issues or conditions such as type 2 diabetes.
I'll put a link in the description for some articles you can check out. From here, let's take a look at a quintessential part of exercise: stretching.
Stretching before exercise has the great benefit of being less liable to injury. Think of the muscles in this case as a ball of Play-Doh. If we heat the dough, move it around a little bit between our hands for example, the ball stretches with less resistance. But if we leave it sitting on a table for hours and then try to stretch it, the dough snaps. Now, there are a myriad of stretching exercises you can find using a quick Google search and see what draws you. There are multiple stretching exercises that work the same muscles. I would recommend doing these exercises in increments of 30 seconds, starting at 30, then a minute and 30 seconds, etc.
Just remember to keep breathing!
Relaxing and breathing normally makes it easier to stretch the muscle. If you're all tense, you're more likely to injure yourself.
But when it comes to one particular stretch, things get a little bit more controversial: the splits.
There are exercises you can practice, developing your flexibility and eventually getting into the splits, but this takes time and patience.
If you want to get into the splits as quickly as possible, there is only one way to do it, and that is getting into the splits.
This is practiced mostly at places such as the Shaolin Temple, with a sink or swim mentality.
Do or do not. There is no try.
This can include tactics that are painful, including having a friend or partner hold your upper body, preventing you from using your hands and forcing you into the splits.
Would I recommend this? Well, yes, but actually no. If it is your decision and you are fully prepared for it, then go ahead. Just remember to relax and breathe so that you don't inadvertently injure yourself. I would not recommend, and I do not practice this when it comes to children, because these sorts of exercises can do real serious damage if they're not done properly. So doing it to a child is very different to doing it to a consenting adult. Finally, let's discuss one more thing that is absolutely non-negotiable and essential. You can train yourself until you're the point of a Super Saiyan.
But as Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they're punched in the face. And that is the crucial element. You can physically prepare, but can you mentally prepare? Let's be honest, even if you do all of this for years and years, a punch or a kick is still going to hurt. On some level, there will be pain. The question therefore is, can you take that pain mentally and keep moving, keep fighting, and keep pushing?
A trick I've learned is to not think of your opponent or partner as a stopping point, but rather as just another obstacle. Because there's the tendency that when we think of something as the end, that we kind of slack, and we feel as though we can relax because the end is in sight. But this is untrue. This is not a finish line. This is just the same as when you hit a punching bag or when you're practicing a technique. You don't stop at the bag. You don't stop at the target. They are not a stopping point. It's just another obstacle. So break through it, push through, and keep moving forward. And that is where we will leave it today. Next time, we'll start digging into the core of this channel and find out why it is called Animal Spirit. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a new video. And until next time, everyone, peace be with you.